Assalamu alaikum, Imam.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Oops, okay, guys.
نعم.
Okay, guys.
Okay, والله. إيه. الحمد لله.
Alhamdulillah. When Namasu Abinam, maybe you should let them know that this is where they are going to receive their Abinam from. So Habibaba. So that they should confirm to us.
So, inshallah. Okay, so I will do that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you can all hear me, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah. Okay, thank you very much, and sorry for the delay in starting. I forgot yesterday I was supposed to do some corrections prompted by our brothers, Brother Abdullahi and Brother Bai. So I needed to do that quickly. Okay, but it's good, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. It's good that at least we are able to detect if there are any corrections, which is very, very encouraging, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so today we're going to continue our discussion on Ism, and most probably we'll finish with Ism today. We'll look at all aspects of Ism today, so it's a little bit packed. But before we do that, you remember yesterday we discussed the status and the 4 properties of the status. We said every status has a form, as well as how to detect that form. And the forms are Rafa, Nasb, Jar, right? Rafa, Nasb, Jar. And we also understood that Rafa does not mean Dhamma, but Rafa can be other things, right? And Nasb also doesn't mean Fatha. Fatha can mean other things. Jar does not also mean Kesra. Jar can be other things. So Rafa, Nasb, Jar are the status in which an ism finds itself. So they are more like the position. It's just like the king's position allows him to wear the crown, right? So if you are in Rafa status, then Dhamma is a sign of you being Rafa status, for instance. If you are in Nasb status, then Fatha is one of the signs. Not only Fatha, of course. If you are in Jar status, then Kisra is one of your signs, right? And then how do we tell the Rafa, Nasb, Jar? How do we tell if it is Rafa, if it is Nasb, and if it is Jar? And so we looked at the ending sounds and ending combination, right? And then we also said that those ending sounds and ending combinations, we quickly mentioned that the ending sounds and ending combination can either be heavy or light. Heavy, anytime the n sound is heard, okay, then it is heavy. And light, if there is no that n sound. So when you say, for instance, Muslimun is heavy, but Muslimu is light. Muslimani is heavy, but Muslima is light. Muslimuna is heavy, Muslimu is light. That is all in the Rafa status. Let's come to the Nasb status. Musliman is heavy, but Muslima is light. And Muslimaini is heavy, but Muslimai is light. And Muslimina is heavy, and Muslimi is light. So just remove the n at the end, then makes it light. And then the last status is what? Jar. In Jar, we have Muslimin is heavy, Muslimi is light, Muslimaini is heavy, and Muslimina is heavy, and Muslimi is light. And you know, when I spoke about the Muslim charge, is actually in a form of a table. And this table is what I want us to put in mind now. Now I want us to draw something in our minds, that anytime we are doing these conjugations, we are doing it according to the status, number, gender type. You remember the SNGT. Now that SNGT needs to be with us always. Status, number, gender type. Status, number, gender type. Status, number, gender type of an ism. So anytime we talk about an ism, remember these 4 properties: status, number, gender type. Now, in the table, in our minds, what we actually do is to put together a certain draft, which yesterday I think we had an issue with. So let me quickly share that particular draft, so we will see what I mean by having this table in our minds. Okay, sure, this is the table, right? The Muslim chart. Okay, hopefully you can, oh, okay. Hopefully you can see the table. Okay, so now when you look at this table well, you realize that there is, okay, let's come from this side. That is the muzakkar, the masculine, right? The most masculine plural, for instance. The masculine plural, for instance, okay, of muslimuna, okay, and muslimani and muslimu. So the table, the part of the table that is highlighted ash is what I want you to take into consideration now. The ash side of the table actually denotes status and number. Okay, so it's always status and number. Rafa, nasb, jar, mufrad, muthanna, jam. So this is one property of an ism. This is another property of an ism, right? So status, number, okay? And then gender type, gender is that this is masculine and this is feminine, for instance. So the difference between this particular one and this one, this table and this table, is just that this table is of feminine word and this table is of masculine word, right? However, the most important thing to realize here, okay, between the status, number, and gender here, is that the plural is the most, important aspect of the number, because the plural, we have a lot of them. That's why actually we drew this table yesterday, where we have this kind of plural, that kind of plural, and then this kinds of plurals, right? Plural for human beings, human beings, normal. Normal means the form of the singular is maintained. So we call this Jam'um Annas Salim, and this one Jam' Muzakkar Salim. The word Salim actually means yaslamu, or yaslamu shakl al-mufrad min al-taghyir. This is the meaning of Salim. Ay yaslam shakl al-mufrad min al-taghyir. The form of the singular root word is safe from any change at the plural level. So if it happens that like that, we say it is Salim, and that Salim have mu'annas and it has muzakkar. Good. Now we come to the broken human or non-human plural, where we say the plural that is broken, meaning that the form of the singular is changed in the formula and at the plural level. Okay, so here we have qalamun. At the plural side, we have aqlamun. So then you ask, where is this hamza and mad alif from? So that makes it broken. That's the meaning of broken. Okay, so we say jam'u taksir mukassar ay kussira shakl al-mufrad. Now the form of the singular has been broken, right? That is the meaning of taksir there. And li'aqilin waghair aqil, for non-human broken plural, like a pen. A pen is non-human, unintelligible thing, right? But rasulun is a human being. That's why it's known as human or li'aqilin. Okay, but the most important thing I want us to look at is the form of the plural here. The form of the plural here, of course, they are the same, right? In the sense that they are changed from the singular form, whilst the form of the plurals here are always they maintain the singular shape of the kalima. Okay, so this is just what I wanted to come back and talk about quickly. However, just hold on and let's do a certain practice now. And we will do this practice. Excuse me. Don't Don't just say, well, what is this that we are doing? But I want us to do a certain practice now. And don't think too much about it. Just say it after me, okay? Say this after me. Please say this after me. We want to do something now and we'll see the benefits afterwards. Just like Surah Al-Adiyat, it says, wal-adiyati dabhan, right? Can you see that? Now, please don't think about what I'm going to do. Just say wal-adiyati dabhan. Are you done? Wal-adiyati dabhan. Can you see that? Wal-adiyati dabhan. Are you done? Say it faster. Are you done? So wal-adiyati dabhan. Are you done? Everybody knows this surah, I'm sure. Wal-adiyati dabhan. Wal-adiyati dabhan. Are you done? So it goes wal-adiyati dabhan. Are you done? Wal-adiyati dabhan. Wal-adiyati dabhan. Good. Now look. Don't go it slowly. Just go as fast as I am doing. Wal-adiyati dabhan.
Wal-adiyati dabhan.
Wal-adiyati dabhan. Are you done?
Wal-adiyati dabhan.
Are you done? Very good. Now keep that in mind. Wal-adiyati dabhan. And listen to the notes, right? Listen to the notes. So it's wal-adi, then yati, then dabhan. Okay, that sound. Now, take a pen or take a pencil with you, and then write this with me, putting in mind the same sound of wal-adiyati dabhan. Okay, wal-adiyati dabhan. Are you done? Wal-adiyati dabhan. Wal-adiyati dabhan. Very good. Now, write this, and it is in English, so you can spell it. It's very easy. You write in English, and I'm not going to dictate this to you. Of course, you know the English letters. So you write un, that's un, un, and leave a space, and write ani. Ani is A-A-N-I. Leave a space, and write una. Una is O-O-N-A. Leave a space and write atun. Atun is A-A-T-U-N. Very good. So now we have written un and ani and una and atun. So mention this with me. Un ani una atun. Are you done? Un ani una atun. Just like you said, wal-adiyati dabhan. So un ani una atun. Un ani una atun. Un ani una atun. Very good. Now leave that as it is. Go to the next line, and with the same tone also, but in this case, you are going to write these letters. An is A-N. An is A-N. Leave a space, and then write Aini is A-I-N-I. A-I-N-I. Leave a space, and then write Ina. Ina is E-E-N-A. E-E-N-A. And then leave a space and write Atin, which is A-A-T-I-N. A-A-T-I-N. So that's the next line. The next line is An Aini Ina Atin. The same sound, the same notes, right? An Aini Ina Atin. Say that again. An Aini Ina Atin. An Aini Ina Atin. An Aini Ina Atin. Very good. Let's go to the last line. The last line is in, like I-N, okay? In, I-N, leave a space and write aini again, A-I-N-I, aini, and then ina, E-E-N-A, ina, and then the last one with a space, atin, A-A-T-I-N, again, A-A-T-I-N. So you can see that there is a similarity between the earlier line and this in terms of the last three, right? Good. So in this last line, we have in aini ina atin, in aini ina atin, in aini ina atin. Quickly. In aini ina atin, in aini ina atin. Very good. So now we are having three lines. The first one says un ani una atun, and the next one says an aini ina atin, and then the last one says in aini ina atin. Now, I would like some volunteers to come and do this with me very, very quickly, okay? And so that we'll practice this, and then we will now share the resultant. But for me, let me do it and you hear what I'm saying. Just reading it off head. Un ani una atun, un ani una atun, un ani una atun, un ani una atun. That's the first line. And then an aini ina atin, an aini ina atin, an aini ina atin. Like well, adi ati dabhan, okay? An aini ina atin. Then the last one says in aini ina atin, in aini ina atin, in aini ina atin, right? So this three lines, actually, if I master them well, then the issue of my ending sound and ending combination is solved, because we are going to now share what they really stand for, okay? So I want somebody to come and read this for me as fast as possible. Any volunteer can read us, raise up his hand. I'm having Abdul Basit Ladan. Please unmute yourself. Yes, Abdul Basit. Yes, Abdul Basit. Please, can you say behind me? Can you say what I have just said? The first line.
Un ani una atun.
The second line.
An aini ina atin.
The last one.
In aini ina atin.
MashaAllah. In fact, you deserve a round of applause, right? All of us. Jazakallah khair. Very good. Very good. Another. Jazakallah. Please mute yourself and let me listen to Kamaldeen Saeed.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Mr. Kamal, please read the first line for me.
Un ani una atun.
The second line.
An aini ina atun.
Again, Ivan.
An aini ina atun.
No. Look at your
an
last
aini
word.
Ina atin.
Very good. Very good.
An aini ina atin.
The last one says.
In aini ina atin.
Very good. Now you are going to go through it again because you made a mistake. So start again. The first line.
Un ani una atun.
The next one.
An aini ina atin.
The last one.
In aini ina atin.
Now, Kamaldeen, you have to, if it is doable, can I see your face? Because I think you are looking down. I want you to be looking at my face. So is it possible for you to do that? Can you, if it's not, yes, please look at me, look into your camera and let's do this practice. Okay, let's go together. Un ani una atun. Say it.
Un ani una atun.
An aini ina atin.
Un ani una atun.
The next one.
An aini ina atin.
The last one. Give me the last one, Kamaldeen.
An aini ina atin.
No, again.
In aini ina atin.
Very good. In aini ina atin. Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Kamaldeen. You can mute yourself and take your video on for not for distraction sakes. Very good. Can I listen to, I saw another hand that went off, but of course, if you are not confident to get the video, no problem, just give me your sound. But I saw a hand up that went down again. Okay, no problem. Now, for the sake of time, we can go ahead and share something here. That the unani una atun speak about the rafa level of an ism. So when I say unani una atun, I mean un is like Muslimun, so the end, right? You remember last 2 days we spoke about Nahu speaks or concentrates about the ending of a word. So when I say Muslimun, I am having un at the end, right? And when I say Muslimani, I'm having ani at the end. And when I say Muslimuna, I'm having una at the end. And when I say Muslimatun, I'm having atun at the end. So the un and ani and una and atun are the only rafa endings that you can have in all words in Arabic. If a word is in rafa ism and it's in rafa status, these are the possibilities that you can have. Okay? Un, ani, una, atun. Rafa. In nasb status, it can only have an, aini, ina, atin. And in jar status, it can only have in, aini, ina, atin. Now note, very, very important information here. These un, ani, una, atun, an, aini, ina, atin, and in, aini, ina, atin, you can hear that the end of it is having the right? Now, in every ism that has those available there, we say the ism is not only in the status it is, it's also heavy. It's heavy because of the it's heavy. Even though this one is in rafa, nasb, jar, but they're all heavy. To make it light, all you have to do is to remove the n and ni. Remove the n and ni from un, aini, una, atun, then it becomes what? U, a, sorry, u, a, u, and then atu. U, a, u, and atu. So you remove that, and then when you come to the nasb, it becomes I, E, A, T. I, E, A, T. I remove everything that has to do with the N to the end. And then in jar status, it becomes what? E, I, E, A, T. Again, E, I, E, A, T. So the reason why I wanted us to do this, because really these are some of the basics that sometimes it's very difficult to really put together. So we decided that, okay, let's just make a play with it and then see if we make it sound like wal'adiyat dhab'an un'ani una atun, and then an aini ina atin, and in aini ina atin. Maybe if you remember this 4 notes and you are able to get them in your mind, then you will remember all kinds of ending of an ism in a heavy state as well as in a light state. Because if you do not know how to determine the ending, if it is ending sound or combination, then you are really not going to go through the Nahu easily. You're going to have challenges unless you are able to know the endings, because Nahu is about the endings of a kalima, Jama'a. Nahu is all about awakhir al-kalima, how the changes that happen at the end of an ism makes it easy for me to determine the status of the ism, as well as the relationship between that ism and other neighboring isms, and then how it affects the general meaning of the statement or an ayah. Okay, so that's just for a start today, but inshallah we'll come back to this on ani una atun and aini ina atin and in aini ina atin business. But don't forget it sounds like wal adiyat dhabhan. Okay, jazakumullah anna kull khair. Let me then go back straight to my slides for today, and let's continue with our business. Okay, Okay, today we are going to look at flexibility. Now, I said the last time that to let me go back to this particular slide and let me share this with you. Yes, this is what I said last time. To determine a status, what do? We look at their form. How do I tell the ending sounds and combination? If the ism is heavy or light, okay, heavy or light. So heavy or light. Light is just about removing the end sound. This is what we have discussed. Today we are going to first look at flexibility. Flexibility simply means that, you know, the ism, does it show the un and in, like Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin? Does it show the un and in? Or does it not show it at all? Like Musa, 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 Musa. Musa in Rafa status is Musa, in Nasb status is Musa, and in Jar status is Musa. So it doesn't show the Dhamma, Fatha, or Kesra, or any other sign, right? So is it like Muhammadun, or like Musa, or is it like Ibrahim? Ibrahim will show Dhamma and Fatha, but will not show Kesra. No, so now, let's look at this now. What we say is Muhammad is fully flexible. Musa is non-flexible, whilst Ibrahim is partly flexible. Why is Muhammad fully flexible? We say because Muhammad shows the signs of all the three status. Muhammadun, so un. Muhammadan, an, fathatan. Muhammadin, in, kasratan, shows all. But Musa, if Musa does something, I will say, dakhala Musa al-fasl. Musa entered the class. Even though Musa is supposed to be in Rafa status, but it doesn't show any Dhamma or any other sign. Ra'aytu Musa, I saw Musa. Musa is still Musa. Marartu bi Musa, I passed by Musa. This B is supposed to infect Musa with a kisra. But Musa was not victimized. Musa refused to have any kisra. Okay? Though we say Musa is in Rafa, Nasb, Jar, respectively, but Musa would not show any sign of Rafa, Nasb, Jar. Therefore, Musa is non-flexible. What about Ibrahim? If Ibrahim comes, I would say, Ja'a Ibrahimu. Ibrahim has come. If I have seen Ibrahim, I would say, Ra'aytu Ibrahima. But when I say salam to Ibrahim, salam to ala Ibrahim, it will not be E. Ibrahim doesn't accept kestra. So we say Ibrahim is partly flexible. Partly flexible. Now, these are the three kinds of flexibility that we have. So every ism must also be considered in terms of it being flexible or not, right? Or partly. In terms of it being heavy or light, or in terms of my detecting which of the ending combination or ending sounds does it have, as well as if it is in Rafa, Nasb, or Jar. Don't be confused between these four and the four properties of an ism. Note, very important. These are four things to consider to determine a status of an ism. Okay, so in Arabic, we will say, كيف نعرف حالة الإعراب للاسم? Okay, how do we know that this particular ism, how do you do the i'rab? How do you consider its i'rab? Okay, number one, ننظر إلى أحواله إما الرفع أو نصب أو الجر. Is it in rafa, nasb, or jar status? Okay, then we look at the end, آخر الكلمة. Okay, is it having a sound, okay, or a combination, حركة أو جمع بين الحركة والحروف? Do we have some letters and sounds that make up the end? Physical letters like alif and nun, or alif alone, and so on. But if it is only the haraka, either dhamma or dhammatan, then it is known as ending sound. Now, is it also heavy or light? Meaning, is the ism having the n sound or it doesn't? Of course, there are instances where it would not have the n sound. We call it tanween, okay, the n sound, or the noon that is at the end of the ending combination. Or if the ism is flexible in terms of it showing the sign of un, an, in, or ani, una, ina, or atin, atin, at, and so on. All those signs that it show or it doesn't show at all, or it partly shows or partly doesn't show. These four things need to be determined for us to know the status of an ism. So four things to look at to determine a status. But a status is one property of an ism. I hope this is clear. Now, as I said, this particular program is made up of tables, graphs, charts, but believe me, and sometimes some of these poems, right? Invented poems, right? To make it easy for us to remember only, okay? Good. Now, let me quickly go through my next, the slides for today, which is that, okay, flexibility. Okay, so we say there are three categories of flexibility considering to be considered, or in terms of an ism. What are the flexibilities? They are either fully flexible, so an ism can be fully flexible. Kamaldeen, are you, I think you are talking about me going back on the status and four things to consider, right? Okay, four things to consider before determining a status, okay, is that you will look at the form of the status. Is it in Rafa, Nasb, or Jar? Okay, these are forms of a status, okay? Rafa, Nasb, or Jar. Okay, again, to consider the property of an, so status is a property. Note, status is one property out of the four. But to consider a status or to determine a status of an ism, you need to consider four things. Okay, the form of the status of the form of the ism, then the form, it's either Rafa, Nasb, or Jar. Okay, and then you also consider that Rafa, Nasb, or Jar. How did you tell it? Is it by a sound or by an ending combination? Number three, the sound and ending combination, are they heavy or light? And number four, does it show does the ism show the u, a, e, or it doesn't at all, or maybe it partly shows, or it doesn't, it partly doesn't show, or it doesn't show at all. Now, these are the four things to consider in order to determine what a status of an ism is. And I hope that is a little bit clear now. But a status itself, status is just one property of an ism. Okay. Now, the four things that we're considering in terms of flexibility, in terms of the what to consider to understand the status is flexibility. And these are the three different categories of flexibility which we just spoke about. Fully flexible means that it accepts all the three endings. Okay, u, a, e, or un, an, in, as the case may be. Or if it is non-flexible at all, it does not accept any of these ones. So it doesn't accept any of this. Okay, or if it is partly flexible, then it will show only the u and a. So in the Rafa, Nasb, Jar, that's how it is. So maybe this one, we will just say like this. It doesn't accept any of that. So for all the three status. Yes, okay, it's correct. And this is partly accepting u and a. So in the state of Rafa, it is u. Sorry. In the status of Rafa, it is u. In the status of Nasb, it is a. And the status of Jar is also a. And that's why you can have Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. So this we'll call it the UAA state, or the UAA status of a kalima, which means that particular kalima, and not all kalima. As I said, there are reasons why an ism would not take all the kinds of endings, right? There's also a reason why an ism will take all. We'll come and discuss that. And there's also a reason why it will not show at all. Okay? I hope this is quite clear for all. Good. Now, when we say a word is fully flexible, it means it tells you that most of the isms in Arabic language are actually fully flexible. That means majority of words in Arabic, majority of isms, let me choosing my words very well, not words. We said words are three kinds. So here we are talking about ism. So majority of isms are what? Are fully flexible. That means they show the UAE at the end, right? That is the general rule. Secondly, fully flexible isms can be heavy or light, meaning it can be like kitabun and kitabu, kitaban and kitaba, and kitabin and kitabi, or kitabani and kitaba, kitabaini and kitabai and kitabaini, kitabai for rafa, nasb, jar respectively. Okay, so isms that are fully flexible can either be heavy or light, and we know what that means. And here it says it can show all the three basic status. Now note the word basic status, forms. The forms are the rafa, dhamma for rafa, nasb for fatah for nasb, and jar, kesra for jar. Okay. If a word is non-flexible, it means it shows only one form. I mean, it has one form throughout. Isa, for instance, Isa will always be Isa, even if it is in rafa status or nasb status or jar status. It doesn't show any wasali. Okay? It looks the same in all the status. And some words that are non-flexible are here. For instance, dunya. Dunya is non-flexible. Okay? هذه الدنيا وأنا في الدنيا ورأيت الدنيا, and so on. Okay? جاءني عيسى وسلمت على عيسى, and so on. ورأيت عيسى, it doesn't change. Okay? Now, this is what we say here, that the singular and plural pointer words are also non-flexible. So when we talk of non-flexible isms, we are talking about isms that have such endings, and also all pointer words. What are the pointer words? These are the pointer words, asma al-ishara, or what you can call the demonstrative pronoun, right? Haza, hada, hazihi, haulai, zalika, tilka, ulaika. These words are also non-flexible. Non-flexible means they do not change. The ending doesn't change. Okay? Zalika is always zalika. Tilka is always tilka. The ending is fatha, ka fatha. And this one, the ending is sukun, alif sukun. Hazihi, ha kisra. And this hamza kisra. They will never change, even if they are in the status of rafa, nasb, or jar. Okay? Ism al-mawsul, these are the asma al-mawsula. They also do not change. Like alladhi, allati, alladhina, allati, allai. But these two are partly flexible. Okay? These two are partly flexible. Why? Because you have the alladhi and alladhani. Alladhi and alladhani. You understand? So alladhani is having the ani. Okay, the ani, the attached to, because if it becomes in rafa nasb status, we say alladhaini. Alladhaini. Okay, and in jar status also alladhaini. In rafa status it is allatani, and in nasb status allataini, and in jar status allataini. Okay, so these two are partly flexible, but the rest are non-flexible. These are the combination. These are the asma al-mawsula, or the relative pronoun, if you can, if you will. So these pronouns are also non-flexible. Don't forget, non-flexibility meaning the ending doesn't change. Okay, okay, except of course the spare aspect of this one. Okay. What is partly flexible? Partly flexible means the ism can have dhamma and fatha, but it doesn't accept kisra. That's what it means. Okay. Now the detail says that it cannot be heavy and cannot take Kisra. So you can't say Ibrahimun. Never. You can't say Ibrahiman. That's the meaning of it cannot be heavy. And that's why you cannot say Sulaimanun and Sulaimanan. It's not possible, right? But the reason why it is like that will come later. And you cannot say Sulaimani or Ismaili. You can only say Ismailu and Ismaila, okay? Now the reason will come, okay? It has two forms. Rafa, that is Dhamma in Rafa status, and Nasb and Jar will all take Fatha. So you say Ismailu, Ismaila, Ismaila. So Ja'a Ismailu, wa ra'aytu Ismaila, wa marartu bi Ismaila. Okay? Now let's look at a closer look. Let's look at a closer, let's look closer to the partly flexible ism. What is this about this partly flexible? How do I know if an ism is partly flexible? We said generally all are fully flexible, but with the non-flexible, we can detect it because the ending will tell you. The ending is having any word that is having that alif al-maksura, that ya that is written like it's ya, but it is pronounced alif. It is non-flexible. That means it doesn't show any of the signs. However, what about this partly flexible? He said what words that are partly flexible are proper names of places, okay, whether Arab or not. So a name of a place in Arabic is partly flexible, except places spelled in 3 letters. Very interesting, right? So Makkah, Makkata, and Makkata. So Makkatu, Makkata, Makkata. So because it is 4 letters, it is partly flexible. It's the name of a place. Pakistanu, Pakistana, Pakistana. It's the name of a place, Pakistan. But look at here, Adnun, Adnan, Adnin. Now look at this, Adnin. Jannatu Adnin. It's a name of a place, but because it is 3 letters, it is fully flexible. That is what this one says. It's in your book, and I'm sure you have read about it. So this is very important for us to note. Yes, partly flexible, for correct. Yes, Misru, and it's also Misru, Misra, and Misra. Okay, very good. Now, non-Arab names. Now let's come to this very important information. You know, you heard me say Ismail and Ibrahim and Sulaiman. Why am I choosing those messengers of God, saying they are partly flexible? Now, this is what the rule says. It says, based on a hadith by Rasulullah, these are the 4 Arab names in the whole of Al-Quran, those messages of Allah that were mentioned. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Hud, Salih, Shu'aib. These are the 4 Arab names. Therefore, these 4 Arab names are flexible because all Arab names are flexible, fully flexible. Now, how is it so? Please, this one I don't have the answer. The Arabs are saying these are the only, sorry, the Arabs are saying only Arab names are fully flexible. So, and the messengers of God that are Arabs are only Muhammad, Hud, and Salah and Shu'aib. Therefore, they are fully flexible. All the other messengers of God are non-Arabs. So their names are partly flexible. I hope that is clear. Good. These are the exceptions of the non-Arab names. Nuh and Lut. Why? Because they are 3-letter words. You remember the ruling here, right? The ruling here tells you that if a word is the name of a place, it is always partly flexible. It doesn't matter if the place is in Arab or non-Arab country. But if the word or the name of a place is in 3 letters, then it's fully flexible. The same thing here. All Arab names are fully flexible. Non-Arab names are partly flexible, except if those non-Arab names have 3 letters, like Nuhun, Lutun. So Nuhun can be Nuhun, Nuhan, Nuhin. Lutun can be Lutun, Luton, and Lutin. Okay? And these are some of the examples given us here. In Rafa status, Muhammadun, Nasbu Muhammadan, Jar Muhammadin. So it is fully flexible. Why? Because it's an Arab name. That is the answer. Okay. Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Partly flexible. You are allowed to have U and A, but you are not allowed to have E. Why? Because non-Arab name. So it's partly flexible. Nuhun, Nuhan, Nuhin. Well, you are non-Arab name, but you are allowed because you are 3 letters. So we are being pitiful to you. We are just being merciful because you have only 3 letters. So if we deny you the Kesra, it's not going to be fair. So three-letter words, you're allowed to have kesra. Okay, that's just by the way. Good. Before I go for a break, please take your fingers, sharpen them. You are going to answer some questions for me quickly now regarding flexibility. Please, let's get engaged. Sharpen your fingers and clear your key parts, okay? If the ism I mentioned is fully flexible, you say F. If it is partly, you say P. And if it is non-flexible, you say N. But you just don't say NP. Sorry, not MPP. You just don't say FPN, but you have to tell me if it is F, why is it F? Because we have mentioned the reasons. If it is P, why is it P? And if it is non-flexible, why is it non-flexible? Are you ready? Are you ready to go with this exercise? Hey, are you sleeping? Or I should stop the exercise, my dears? I was asking if you are ready to go with me, please. We are going to do some exercises. Okay, I'm seeing only two people who are ready now. Khalifa, you are ready, yes. Kamal Din is ready. So am I having only two of you in the class? Salaam alaikum. Naam. Okay, another Arab man there. Alpha. Okay, yes. Okay, are you ready? MashaAllah, good. MashaAllah. Okay, so we are now going straight to do this exercise. Get ready. You will tell me if it's an F, and then you will mention in front why do you think it's an F. F meaning fully flexible. If it is not, then you say it's non-flexible with an N only. If it is a partly flexible, you have to mention why is it partly flexible, okay? Normally, I don't start from number one, no, please. So if you are ready, you have already written number one. I will be starting from number 25. So number 25, Rabbi, is it fully, partly, or non-flexible? And why? Rabbi, number 25. Rabbi. Is it fully, partly, or non-flexible? It might sound easy, but you just need to relax. Why so, Kamal? Asma, why so? Why so? Is it really? Okay, that's interesting. You see, now, yes, it's fully flexible. Is it because it has 3 letters? It's not the name of a place anyway. Now note, if yes, it's fully flexible, yes, I accept. It can take all the 4 status, yes, but nobody is giving me the reason. Because it's 3 letters, are you sure? But this is not the name of a place. No, well, it's not a name. This is just an, because it can be light or heavy. I like that answer. Note, I like that answer very well because it can be heavy and light. Alpha says because it's an Arab word. In fact, he's asking a question. He's not giving me an answer. Why is it? Because it can take fatah kesra. Oh, mashallah, Nabila. Okay, so I am okay. I am okay with this answer. Yes, because it can take fatah, kesra, and dhamma. So you can say rabbu, rabba, rabbi, right? And in fact, you could have even told me that, look, there is nothing that made it what? Partly, and there is also nothing that made it what? Non-flexible. So by default, it is what? It is flexible because most of the Arab words are flexible. Sorry, Arab isms. All names or isms in Arabic, mostly, they are all flexible, except in the case where it is having the ending with R, or it's those category of isms that we said are partly flexible. So you can even have told me by default, this is a normal Arab ism or an Arabic ism that has no any cause for it to be non-flexible or partly flexible. But this is a very good answer and clear cut, and everybody is right, right? All of you. Very good. Let's go to the word Adamu. So can it be Adamu? Hey, this is our father. Adamu. Can it be Adama, Adami, and Adamun, Adaman, Adamin? Answer, Adam. That's all of us, our father. So tell me if it is fully, partly, or non-flexible. Quickly, our time is fast spent. We have a lot. It's partly flexible. Why? Non-Arab name, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Non-Arab name, yes. And it's also having 4 letters, yes. Cannot take tanween, absolutely correct, yes. Can't take tanween, very good. Let's go to the word al-untha, number 23. Al-untha, thank you, Kamal, thank you. Al-untha, al-untha, is it partly flexible, non-flexible, or fully flexible? Al-untha, and why? And why? PN, hey, what is PN, Kamal? Okay, non-flexible. Asma, is it partly flexible? So you can say what? Unsiyu and unsiya and no unsiyi. It's non-flexible. Why? Yes, maksura alif. Yes, alif maksura. From now on, Khalifa, I hope it's not the Khalifa in Ghana. If it is Khalifa in Ghana, please stop answering the questions. Okay? Because you are not making my class interesting. Okay, Khalifa, you have been banned. Okay, okay. If it is Khalifa of Ghana, good, because you. Oh, okay, okay. Sorry. We have one other Khalifa here. A. Okay, because it cannot take tanween. Yes, I agree with you. It cannot take. In fact, the R at the end, alif al maksura. The A at the end, alif al maksura, tells you that it is non-flexible. Let's take last 2 words. Ibrahim, number 28. Ibrahim. Can I say Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahimi, or Ibrahimun? Ibrahim is non-flexible. Abdul Rafiq is partly. Okay, so sorry. You are talking about the earlier one. Yes, you are right, Abdul Rafiq. Yes, mashallah. Okay, partly flexible Ibrahim. So Ibrahim is one of those who can have the UAA formula, right? UAA formula, not UAE. Or the ones with none. Okay. Yes, it's a non-Arab name, so it's partly flexible. Very good. We'll go for a short break and come back in 5 minutes. Jazakumullah anna kulla khair. Stay on. Don't go far away, okay? Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we are back. Don't forget what we have taken today about the ending sounds, very important, okay? Make sure you practice it a lot. If you forget it, remember, wal adiyati dhabhan, like un'ani una atun, and then an aini ina atin, and in aini ina atin. You do it a lot of the time, and with that, you look, whenever you come into your Quran, and anytime you see that you know it is an ism, definitely, and it is having a sound. Whenever you hear ani, it is an ism, it's having a combination, but rafa. Una is another combination, but rafa, okay? And also definitely today we are also going to look at how do I know if it is singular pair plural. We'll look at it later before we close today, so that the whole thing of those endings will come together. Because believe me, if you are not able to say in the saying of the Prophet Muhammad, for instance, anytime you read the hadith, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, if you are not able to know the who, he, her, who, ani, ona, then definitely you will have problem understanding what the Arabic sentence is saying, be it ayah or hadith. Because our intention is that the moment I see Muhammadan, then I don't know. The Muhammad here is not a dua. The Muhammad is rather a done to or anything. Something, you know, had to do with it being not the subject. Whenever I see Muhammadun, I know, well, either the dua, either is the subject of the discussion, or so those sounds matter a lot. Okay. And why is it in not u? Why is it an, not a? Why is it in, not e? All of these are what we are learning, but basically you need to first of all know those ending sounds and ending combination and master them, you know, both the heavy and the light. And that's why I brought this whole thing up for us to be able to quickly remember the sounds, okay, and the combinations. Okay, so let's continue with our slides. Let me go back. Sorry, I hope you can see it now. Can you see my slides, please? No. Oh, sorry. No. Keep on getting the wrong slides, right? Okay. Okay, so this is where we are. Good. So we have just finished some exercises regarding the flexibility. With that, we are done with those things to consider in determining what the status is. Okay, so we have just finished one property. Don't forget, let me show you this particular slide. If you might have forgotten, let me show you this slide here. Okay, I hope you can see this. Again, this is what we are discussing. And this is what we have just done with. Now we are going to look at these three now, quickly. And you realize that, oh, almost like the whole discussion is about this. Yes, it's true. Because in fact, when we were discussing this, we were looking at this and we were looking at that. You know, when we say Muslimun and Muslimatun, the difference is that this one is feminine and that one is masculine. When we say Muslimani, we are talking about the number, right? So actually we were talking about a number and gender all this while. So when I say ani una atun, so the is always for a singular ism name, so it's a singular. When I say ani, is always for a pair. When I say una, is always for a plural, okay, but masculine. When I say atun, is a plural for feminine. So that's how come the an una Yes, that's how come the un'ani una atun comes about, because it's all in Rafa. Okay, so that un just shows that we are dealing with a singular word. So that's why we can say Muslimun, Kitabun, Baytun, Madrasatun, Qalamun, Kursiyun. It's a singular thing. The moment they become two, then you will have the ani. So we are not giving our un now. It cannot be un. It has to be ani, like kursiyani, kalamani, waladani, baitani, rasulani, and so on. And it becomes plural, like muslimuna. So una, muslimuna, kafiruna, hamiduna, sa'ihuna, and so on. If it is feminine plural, then you have the atun, like qanitatun, sa'ibatun, amilatun, and so on. Okay, so the gender, we are still already looking at it, and we are also looking at the number. So don't forget, we are still talking about ism. We have just finished the status. Now let's see number. I'm sure we are going to number is the next one. Okay, good. So this is number. The number in Arabic are of three types. Already we have been discussing them, so it's going to just be brushing on it. Okay, mufrad is the singular, muthanna is pair or dual, you can say. Jam'u is what? Plural. These are the only three types of number. Adad fil Arabi. Okay, in Arabic we have only three kinds of numbers, and two things we say in Arabic are not plural. Okay, two things are pair. So this is one good thing, one unique thing about Arabic, that two things are not plural. Okay, it has to be 2 plus. Everything 2 plus will become plural, jam. And we discussed some of these about the pair and plural in our ani and una, and then aini and ina, rafa, nasjar, respectively. Okay. Kinds of plurals. Of course, we said these ones, we have only one kind of singular, one kind of pair. But plurals have kinds. We discussed them. You remember, we said we have the normal Muslim masculine plural. Normal. What is this word normal doing? Normal means it maintains the singular form. So Muslimun, Muslimani, and Muslimuna. So you can have that ani, una is there. Ani, una, right? So you have the Muslimun, Muslimani, and Muslimuna. And when it comes to Muslimuna, Muslimina, you should know what it means. Muslimuna is Rafa. Muslimina is Nasb. Muslimina is also Jar. So anytime you see me bringing three types of words, I'm just indicating the status. Rafa, Nasb, Jar. Okay? Normal female or feminine, plural. Another normal. Why is it normal? Because it maintains the singular form. That's why it's called salim. In some places, you will see the word safe or sound. Sound feminine plural or sound masculine plural. This is how we term it in English, right? In our English terminologies. So when we say something is sound masculine plural, we mean jam' muzakkar salim. A sound feminine plural means jam' muannas as-salim. Okay? And then we have the broken plural. We have the human, like what? Rasulun, Rasulani, Rusulun, Warijalun, Rajulani, Rijalun, Warijalan, Warijalin. So Rijalun, Rijalan, Rijalin. Okay? Rijalun, Rijalan, Rijalin, Rafa, Nasjar. This is the plural of the word Rajulun. Okay? Now look at this statement. These words are treated as she or as S. This is a very, very important thing. I need to mention this now quickly because it's going to meet us now. All broken plurals, now when I say broken plural, you know what I mean now. Broken plurals are treated as she, but if the broken plural is for human or intelligible being, then it is treated as she or as S. As S means as its gender says. So in this case, Rajulun is a man. So if there are many, I can say haula'i rijalun. But I can also say hazihi rijalun. Hazihi, why? Because it's jam'u taksir. And all jam'u taksir can be treated as she. So I can say hazi, that's why you can say, the Quran says, tilka rusul. Okay? Tilka rusul. It didn't say dhalika or ulaika rusul. It said tilka rusul. So any broken plural, which is human, can be treated as either she, because it is broken, and or as it is, because it is what? It is an intelligible being. This is a very important information. You need to keep it because it's going to haunt us later. Okay? Now, if it is non-human broken plural, then it is strictly treated as she. So we say hadihi buyut, or tilka al-buyut. Okay? We can't say ulaika al-buyut. Okay? Or haula al-buyut. No. You can only say tilka al-buyut. But here you can say haula al-rijal and ulaika al-rijal and hazihi al-rijal. Yes, you can say hazihi. Why? Because it is jam at-taksir. That's the meaning of that. The last kind of plural is ismu jamu. Now this ismu jamu is a very interesting one in Arabic. This is the fifth kind of plural. That it's a word that is singular as it is, but it is treated as masculine plural. Okay, masculine plural, because though it is single, it looks singular, like qawmun and nasun and karnun. Qawmun, you know, even though it is one word, but it means a nation, right? Okay, a nation. Nasun, even though it looks like a singular word, but it means people. And then karnun, the same thing, generation. Of course, generation is not one person, right? That is what the meaning of ism jamu. That's how ism jamu plays out here. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm having a question here about how to identify jam'u taksir. Jam'u taksir can easily be identified because it looks like a singular word. Yeah, right? Anytime you see it, it looks more like a singular word, even though it is plural. So, for instance, when I say rajulun, rajulani, and rijal, why is it rijalun with an alif here? Whilst in the singular, there is no alif. That's the meaning of taksir. Okay? Waladun, waladani, awlad. So awlad is jamu taksir. Okay? But when I say Muslimun, Muslimani, Muslimuna, this is not jamu taksir, this is jamu muzakkar salim. I hope that is clear. So taksir, you just look at the singular. Does it look like the singular? I mean, does the singular form is maintained there and then an addition of something that shows that is plural? Like Jam'u Muzakkar Salim and Muannas Salim? Okay? So because if you say Fatimatun and Fatimatani and Fatimatun, the Fatima is maintained from the singular pair and plural form. The Atun is what is added at the plural level. But if you say Waladun, Waladani, and then Awladun, you have brought in a Hamza after in the plural form. So it breaks. That's the meaning of taksir. It breaks the form of the singular. So anytime you see a plural word and then you relate it to the singular and you realize that the singular form of the word is not maintained, it has been broken in any form, then that particular plural is jam'u taksir. Okay. So that is that. Inshallah, we will go now to agenda. You see, so that's all about numbers. Now look, let's go to gender, and that is the third property of an ism. An ism, by default, is masculine. So all isms in Arabic are actually masculine. Okay? By default, every ism you see is masculine, except if it is a real feminine word or a fake feminine word. Now, what is a real feminine word and what is this default? The default means, I mean, anytime I see any ism in Arabic, okay, kitabun, don't even think about it. It is masculine. Well, okay. Kalamun, masculine. How do I know? Well, there's nothing that shows that it is feminine. That is the so now the question is, what are the things that will make an ism feminine? These are the things we are going to learn now. It's either if the ism is real feminine, like, okay, when we say kitabun and Mariamun, and Mariamu, not Mariamu. I can't say Mariamun. You remember? I can say only Mariamu because it's a non-Arab name. Kitabun is muzakkar, but Maryam is muannas. How? How do I know? Of course, no Maryam is a boy or a man, right? So this is the meaning of a real feminine or biologically feminine. Ummun, it looks like abun. Ummun is like abun, but are they the same? This one is father and this one is mother, so they are not the same gender. So that's the meaning of real feminine. This, if something is a real feminine, yes, then it becomes feminine. Or if it is fake feminine. Now, fake feminine have types. Number one, if the ism is ending in ta'un or marbuta, or the ism is ending with this note. Okay, but then somebody will say, okay, what about Musa? Of course, Musa is a man. Okay, so it's originally masculine. So, like when you say Kubra and Layla, for instance, and I mean, a lot of words that will be ending with are all feminine. Like colors, okay? Like khadra and bayda and sahara, they are all feminine, okay? Non-human broken plural, we just spoke about it. Any plural that is broken, non-human, okay, is also treated as feminine. So feminine, is it by real? Is it really feminine biologically? No, because it is a broken, non-human broken plural. Non-human broken plurals are all feminines, okay? For instance, when you say baitun, baitani, and buyut. Buyut is feminine, it's treated as feminine, but the singular is treated as masculine. Note, baitun is masculine. Baitani, 2 houses, masculine. But buyut is treated as feminine, is treated as feminine. So you say, hadihi buyut, hada bait. Okay, very interesting. Places are all feminines, all places. So Accra is feminine and Egypt is feminine, Lagos and Abuja are all feminine. I'm sorry, that's what the Arabs say. The last one, the one that follows is body parts that are in pairs. So 2 hands. So the hand, yad, yadun. Yadun is feminine. Why? Because I have 2. There are 2 of them. Ainun is feminine. Why? Because there are 2. Lisanun is masculine. Why? Because it is only 1. Okay, that's a very interesting one. And then because Arabs say so, this is an abbreviation. There are certain words that Arabs said they are feminine. So these words, we have no choice. We have to consider them feminine. This one, I have no hands in it. That's how it is. Arabs say these words are feminine, and so they are. We are going to learn about those words, inshallah. Okay. The last property of an ism is the ism. Ism means the type of the ism. So an ism would have status, number, gender, and type. SNGT. The T part is what? What parts or what type of ism is it? Is it common or proper? These are the 2 types. Common or proper. By default, all isms are also common. That's what we say. All isms are common. Kull al-kalimat nakira. All isms are nakira, except when some of the things happen on it to become proper. Just as we said, all isms are masculine, muzakkar, unless if something makes it muannas. Okay, here all isms are also nakira, common, except if some of these 7 things happen, then the ism becomes what? Proper. Isn't this very interesting? Good. Let's go out and look at those things. I'm sure you all know them. Alif and Lam makes an ism proper. A proper name of anybody is proper. Sorry, everybody is proper. The one who is being called is also always proper. It doesn't matter. Just anyone you are calling becomes proper. Pronouns, all personal pronouns are proper. All pointer words are proper. All relative pronouns are proper. Okay, this one is not supposed to be Ism al-Ishara. This was Ism al-Mawsul. Ism al-Mawsul. Sorry for this mistake. Okay, sorry. Al-Ism al-Mawsul. Okay. So this is also proper. Okay, so Ism al-Mawsul is proper, and the word, this expression always when I say it, I just have to, take my time. The word before of is proper if the word after of is also proper. Now, when you say Kitabullahi, you can see that Kitab is nakira, but it's actually considered proper because Allah is proper, and because these two words are actually one concept, idafa. We'll come and learn that. Okay, Masjid al-Haram, Masjid is nakira because there is nothing that makes it proper. No alif lam there. It's not being called. It's not a pronoun. It's not a pointer word. It's not a relative pronoun. However, it is in a possession. Okay, it's in a possessive case with what? Al-Haram, and Al-Haram is proper. And when you translate it, there is an off here. So you say Masjid al-Haram, the sacred mosque, or the mosque of sacredness, of sacredness, if you can term it that way. Okay, or Kitabullahi, the book of Allah. Even though Kitab is nakira, as it looks like this, but because of the relationship with Allah, we cannot say Kitabullahi, a book. You can't say a book. You have to say the book of Allah. It will look as if there is an alif and lam here. Why? Because it is a genitive, it's in genitive case, or what we call idafa, mudafun ila kalima mu'arrafa. فإذا كان المضاف نكرة والمضاف إليه معرفة يكون المضاف أو يكتسب المضاف التعريف. Okay, so this one becomes proper. Why? Because the word after of is also proper. That's what we say here. So anytime you hear this expression, the word after of is proper because the word before of, the word before of becomes proper because the word after of is proper. That's what it means. And the word after of here is talking about the concept of idafa. Okay, so now these are the seven kinds of proper isms, or 7 kinds of instances that make an ism proper. Else an ism is always common. Okay. Okay, if you have read your book, we are going to look at bars. Some of you do not read your books, right? I will test you here. So please sharpen your fingers. We are going to learn those words that are said to be feminine because the Arabs are saying it's feminine. It's not because I said. The Arabs said these words are feminine, so they are considered like that. But before I do that, please note we have now finished treating what? Ism, generally. Ism and the 4 properties: status, number, gender, type. And the status, we've seen 4 different things to consider, right? Considering the form, considering how to tell the form, and considering if it is heavy or light, as well as considering its flexibility, all in the status. In the number, we have learned about the singular, pair, plural, mufrad, muthanna, jamu. Okay? In the gender, we have learned about 2 types of gender, either masculine or feminine, mudhakkarun or mu'annas. And then in the type, we have learned 2 types also, common or proper, nakira or ma'rifa. We have finished all with an ism. Everything regarding an ism is finished. But we are going to go back and look at gender and why this particular point here. Let me show the point. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Number, gender. Yeah, here. This last one, BASS. Because Arabs say so. Because Arabs say certain words are feminine. And we want to go and learn about those words here. Okay? If you have read your books, you will tell me these words. And so take your fingers and and get ready for us to read together. And it's a story called the Sahaba, or the Sahaba story. It's called the Sahaba story. Okay? Tell me here. It's a story, and if you check inside your handout, you will see those words. I think they are about 17, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So you will write the words on your chat box for me. The words that are here in the blank. What are those words that the Arabs are saying are feminine? Even if they do not look like feminine. Arabs are saying they are feminine. What are they? So let's read. During there's a word here. What word is that? Please share it with me. During, please don't leave me alone. No, I'm sitting down here alone. Don't leave me to be talking to myself. So please, particularly those who are near. During, no. Yes, I know that, but that I'm looking for the Arabic word. I'm looking for the Arabic word. So you can transliterate it, but I'm looking for the Arabic word that the Arab said are feminine. Yes, Abdul Rafi, during a harb, very good. During a harb, a soldier was daydreaming, looking up at the now Abdul Rafi has taken the burden of all the class. Sama, very good. Until he has taken the class onto his shoulder. Very good. Until the Shams came up. Very good. Until the Shams came up. When he snapped out of it, he realized he was the only nafs left on the battlefield. So he was surrounded by hey, this class. I like your collaboration. Oh. You leave everything for him to do. And he's struggling to do his typing in Arabic too. MashaAllah. He was surrounded by nar. MashaAllah. So he used oh mashallah, he used a dalu full of water to make mashallah, he used a dalu full of water to make a sabil. Mashallah, thank you very much. To make a sabil and not only sabil, and a tariq, mashallah, and a tariq all the way to a safer, ard, mashallah, in the hot blowing rih. He was desperately looking for a bi'r, mashallah, to draw water from. In his search, he found an empty dar, inside which he finds kas, mashallah, full of khamr, mashallah. He is tempted despite his fear of Jahannam and not only Jahannam, but the deeper one, and Sa'ir, okay, to take a sip. But what of his temptation and uses his and uses his asa to strike the drink. Jazakallah anna kulla khair. MashaAllah. Very well done. MashaAllah. Jazakallah anna kulla khair. You have done so well, Abdul Rafi, and I hope all of you will say kudos to him. Thank you. Now, what we have been doing with Abdul Rafi is to insert those words that the Arabs say are feminine. And the words are harbon. So in this case, the story says, during a harb, during a battle, that is, a soldier was daydreaming, looking up at the sama, that's the sky, until the shams, that is the sun, came up. When he snapped out of it, that is out of where he is, he realized he was the only nafs, that's the only soul left on the battlefield. He was surrounded by nar, fire. So he used a dalu, that is a bucket full of water, to make a sabil, to make a path, and a tariq, and a way, all the way to a safer ard. That means an earth, a safer ground. In the hot blowing rih, rih means wind. In a hot blowing rih or wind, he was desperately looking for a bi'r. He was looking for a bi'r. He was looking for a well to draw water from. In his search, he found an empty dar. Dar means a cottage or a hut or a house, or something like a home, inside which he finds a kas, means a glass, okay, or a jug, full of khamr, full of khamr. Khamr means alcohol. He is tempted despite his fear of Jahannam. Of course, Jahannam needs no translation. And Sa'ir. Sa'ir is the hotter part of Jahannam. Of course, he knows that when he drinks that, that's the end of him, okay? Okay, for him to take a sip. But he wards up such a temptation, and he uses his asa. Asa means a stick or a rod that he was holding to strike the drink, and said, no, I wouldn't do that, right? Okay. So generally, we did this to make it easy for us to understand those 17 words that are known to be feminine in Arabic. Okay. So with that, inshallah, we'll take a break. Sorry. We'll take a break and come back and do some more exercises. Stay on, and we'll come back for our last lap, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you can all hear me. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, inshallah. Good. Abdul Basit says, okay, the handout. The handout is actually posted on the Edmodo platform. And also, well, we'll post it also again on the WhatsApp page so that everyone should have it. But if you have visited your Edmodo page, you'll find it there, inshallah. Okay. Or any of the TAs around can assist Abdul Basit with that, inshallah. Okay. Let's look. Okay. Now, let's do some practice here with Muslim chart. Now, this Muslim chart, it's very important because with that, we create a scale, okay? A scale of balancing your understanding of the ism, okay? All isms. So we were discussing ism all this while, and today we are finishing ism, right? So, but you need to master the status, number, gender type, status, number, gender type, status, number, gender type. Okay, if you don't really master, because I did mention this thing about ism. If you lose it, on ism, then you lose everything. I mean, this language is about ism. For some of you who know the things, when you hear ismi, you know what ismi is? I mean, it's a big word. Ism has everything. And that's why even when we talk about the fi'l, we say within fi'l there is an ism, right? So to understand ism in Arabic, I mean, you would have gone a far into the language. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to give Adam, he gave them asma kullaha. He didn't give them huruf or af'al, right? He gave him asma. And when he also wanted to reveal the first ayah, he said, Ikra bi ismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So bi ism. So the ism is important. Understanding ism, understanding the properties of an ism, very, very important. So we have taken the word Muslim strategically so that you will be able to know that when you use an ism and you are able to apply all the SNGT, then you can apply it onto all other isms that are like al-Muslim or Muslim, okay? So I will go through it and I will come and look for a volunteer to also go through the Muslim chart. When I say Muslim chart, I mean I'm looking at a chart that will be having status, number, gender, and type. Okay? In that, I will be able to see all those things inside it. For instance, let me give you this, which is in your book, of course. When you look at this part of this table or this particular graph, okay, it's talking about gender. So masculine and feminine, right? Muzakkarun and muannas. When you look at the top here, it's talking about the adad, the number, right? So mufradun, muthanna, jamru. That means singular, pair, plural. And when we look at this type, this part is talking about, or is indicating the status. Rafa, nas, jar. And this box, the difference between this box, of course, and this box is that this one is masculine and this one is feminine. And then this particular box is the unique thing about the Arabic, right? Where we say that it is a plural, but it is a broken plural. That's the only thing that this one is showing, that there's something called broken plural in Arabic. And that is different from the normal plural. These two are normal plurals. Why are they normal? Because they maintain the singular form of the ism. They maintain the singular form of the ism in the plural stage. But this aqlam does not maintain the singular form. Look at this. Qa, la, Qaf, Lam, Mim. But this one is Hamza, Qaf, Lam, Mad bil Alif, Mim. What? That's a difference. There's a difference in the format of the singular and that is of the plural. That makes it Jam'u Taksir. I hope Salah, this Salahuddin, or what's the name? One of the brothers, Kamal-Din, sorry. I hope Kamal-Din is following here. To be able to detect what a Jam'u Taksir is, just ask yourself, what is the mufrad? If you are able to know what the mufrad is, then you realize that, oh, if it doesn't maintain the form of the singular, then it is Jam'u Taksir. Okay? So with this, we say that we have Rafa Nasb Jar, like Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. So I'm going what? This way. But if I decide to go that way, that is singular pair plural, it will be what? Muslimun, Muslimani, Muslimuna, Musliman, Muslimaini, Muslimina, and Muslimin, Muslimaini, Muslimina. So I can decide to go the status line. I can also decide to go the number line. And I can also choose to say, give me the masculine table. And I can also choose to say, give me the feminine table, or give me the broken plural table. Right? So I will do this, and I'm sure you are all looking at me. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to look into the camera. Okay? So I'm going to do the first line, and I'm going to go that way. I like going singular pair plural. So I'll have Muslimun, Muslimani, Muslimuna. That's the Rafa line. Okay? The Nasb line is Musliman, Muslimaini, Muslimina. And the Jar line is Muslimin, Muslimaini, Muslimina. That's for masculine. For feminine, Muslimatun, Muslimatani, Muslimatun. Rafa. Nasb, Muslimatan, Muslimataini, Muslimatin. And Jar, Muslimatin, Muslimataini, Muslimatin. So that is the feminine table. And then we come to the broken plural table. Kalamun, kalamani, aklamun, Rafa. Kalaman, kalamaini, aklaman, Nasb. Kalamin, kalamaini, aklamin, Jar. So in this case, I was going the number way. Okay, sorry, the status. Sorry. Yes, I was going the number way, and then I will follow the status. But this time I want to do only the status way. So I will be doing Rafa, Nasb Jar, Rafa, Nasb Jar, Rafa, Nasb Jar for all the tables or all the boxes. Okay. So I will take the first box, and that is the masculine box. So in the Rafa, in the singular form, I will have it as Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. So I'm looking at Rafa Nasb Jar. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. When it is pair, I will say Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini. So Rafa Nasb Jar. If it is plural, I will say Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Rafa Nasb Jar. That's masculine. Feminine, that's the second table. I'm going still this way. So Rafa Nasb Jar. Feminine, singular. Muslimatun, Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin. Singular, that's singular. Pair. Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini. So that is pair. And then plural, Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. So that's the second box. But I was going that way. So I'm going Rafa Nasb Jar, Rafa Nasb Jar, singular pair plural. Okay. The last box, which is the box of the broken plural, I have Kalamun, Kalaman, Kalamin. So Rafa Nasb Jar, singular. And then Kalamani, Kalamaini, Kalamaini, Rafa Nasb Jar. And then Akla, I wanted to say Kalamuna, sorry. Aklamun, Aklaman, Aklamin. And that is the plural line, Rafa Nasb Jar, respectively. So basically, this is what we call the Muslim chart. And Muslim chart gives me a particular formula. So anytime I say, remember your Muslim chart, I mean, remember how to declension or how to make all the different how to apply all the properties of an ism, okay, based on what we have learned on the Muslim chart, okay. And Muslim chart is just made up of the masculine table, the feminine table, and then the broken plural table. But don't forget, the properties there are status on this line, and then at the top is the number, and that box at the beginning is the gender. The type is not mentioned there, yes, because type is mainly, you know, more of a secondary thing. And we have mentioned what type is, right? The type, what we are having all in the in the three boxes for Muslimun is common. Muslimatun is also common. Kalamun is also common. So it's on all that it is common. So if you want to make it plural, if you want to make it if it's not common, it's proper, you can just put alif and lam. So it will say al-muslimu and al-muslimani and al-muslimuna, and then al-muslima, al-muslimaini, al-muslimina, and then al-muslimi, al-muslimaini, and al-muslimina. Then we come to the feminine, al-muslimatu, al-muslimatani, al-muslimatu, and then al-muslimata, al-muslimataini, al-muslimati, and then al-muslimati, al-muslimataini, and al-muslimati. And then when it comes to the last one, al-qalamu, al-qalamani, and al-aqlamu, and al-qalama, al-qalamaini, and al-aqlama, and al-qalami, al-qalamaini, and al-aqlami. Note that you cannot have alif and lam, of course, with tanween, because any word that is having alif and lam cannot take tanween, but you don't consider it light. We say it is irrelevant. Okay, the issue of heavy or light doesn't come when we are talking about a proper where alif and lam is involved. Okay, so basically this is what I've been doing. All right, this is what I've been doing, and just to try to master the table, you just need to look at it and picture it in your mind, because we are going to use it a lot. We are going, whenever I say I give you an ism and you are able to pin it to this particular table, it's very easy for you to be able to run the different kinds of declension. Okay, why is the nasb and jar of qalam same? Nasb and jar. Where is nasb and jar? Okay, yeah. Where is nasb and jar? Why is it the same? I can't see nasb and jar. Sorry. All of them. All of what? Okay. Yes. Let me explain this. Thank you very much for that. This is what I think Abdurrafi is talking about. You know, nasb and jar, pair and plural, these four boxes are always the same. These four boxes are always the same. Okay, nasb and jar. Okay, these four boxes, but in this case, it's only these two. Okay, so kalamaini and kalamaini. So in nasb status is kalamaini, in jar status is kalamaini. Okay, muslimataini, muslimataini, nasb and jar. Muslimatin, muslimatin, nasb and jar. Muslimaini, muslimaini, nasb and jar. Muslimina, muslimina, nasb and jar. So how do you differentiate between them? Depends on the context, okay? On the context of a sentence. When it comes into a sentence, you will be able to know if it's referring to two, or sorry, if it's in nasb status or if it is in jar status. There are a lot of things that will make you know that the ism is in nasb status, and other things that will make you know that ism is in jar status. You remember when we spoke about nasb and jar, and those things that will make an ism nasb. One of them is if it's an object. So if it's an object or a victim, then it's muslimaini. If it is preceded by harf of jar, then it is muslimina. So you say fi baytin min al muslimina, for instance. Fi baytin min al muslimina. So that means it is in jar status. Okay. For what if you say innal muslimina, then it is in nasb status because of inna. Okay. I hope that is clear for that. Okay, so command says, okay, can we do it Kalamani. Yes, this is kalamani here. So kalamun, kalamani, aklamun. So kalamani, aklamun. And kalaman, kalamaini, aklamun. Sorry, aklaman, and kalamin, kalamaini, aklamin. I hope that's what you mean. Kamal. Okay, I hope that is, yes. So you can have kalamai, kalamani. This is kalamani. So kalamani is in rafa status. Note this. That means it's either the doer or the subject or the predicate sometimes. I mean, all the rafa status. Okay. But kalamaini if it is in nasb status, and kalamaini if it is in jar status. Okay. Okay, Khalifa, coloring, right? You want coloring. So what would I color what? Okay, we'll see to that. Let's look at the next one. And then the next one will help us, which means you want me to close this session abruptly. I've wanted us to get a volunteer here, but it will not allow me. So let's go straight here. Now let's look at Mufrad Musanna Jamu. Okay, Kamal, just continue with us. Probably you get it even better now. Mufrad Musanna Jamu is a number. Do you agree with me? Is it the number? One of the 4 properties, right? This is the number. Do you agree? Al-adad. Please, do you agree with me? Don't sleep, oh. Don't sleep, oh. I'm here alone. Do you agree that this is the adad? Yes, it's the adad. The number, right? Yes. One of the what? One of the adad is one of the what? Al-adad is one of what? Of what? Who can tell me? Al-adad is one of what? Of what? Al-adad is one of properties of what? Absolutely. One of property of what? Ism. Yes, one of the properties of ism. And ism is what? And ism is what? What is ism? If you are asked what is ism, I'm not looking at the definition. I'm looking at the relationship to word. What is an ism? It's one of the kalimas, yes. It's one of the kinds of words in Arabic. One of the properties of, yes. So number or adad is one of the properties of the word. And yes, ism is one of the parts of speech in Arabic. How many are they? How many are those parts of speech? Parts of speech. How many are there, Rayhan? There are 3. Very good. What are they? What are they? What are those parts of speech? You say you can sleep, right? Okay. What are the parts of speech? Ismu, fi'il, harf. Very good. What is an ism? Quickly. What is an ism? What is an ism? What is a fi'il and what is a harf? Quickly. Where are the quick fingers? Ism, fi'il, harf. Ism, fi'il, harf. What are they? Define them. Define them, please, for us. Ism is noun, alpha. We mentioned this yesterday. Who can correct that for us? Who can correct that? In fact, ism cannot be a noun and fi'il cannot be a verb. Absolutely. We made this clear. And these are some of the things that we need to learn in this course. Ism is not or cannot be said to be a noun. If you say it's a noun, it's like saying Alpha is without Quran. And every Alpha should be having Quran in him, right? Okay. What is that? And ism is a name of a person, you see? So name of a person and place is noun. What about adverb and adjective and more? So if you say an ism is a noun, please, you are belittling the ism. I'm sorry. What is a fail? What is a fail? Yes. What is 1 p.m.? Oh, sorry, Abdul. Sorry. Okay, you can go for prayers, please. You can go for prayers. Yes, you can go for prayers. Because we are actually closing now. We are closing now. But we'll do these exercises tomorrow, inshallah. Yes, we are also closing now. So ism is name of a, yes, but nobody has given me the field. Mala Abdullah, you cannot go without finishing this definition. You have to finish the definition, please. Okay, what is ism fi'il harf? Okay. So I hope that is clear for you, Alpha. Okay, ism is noun. Okay. This ism is the name of a person, place, thing, idea, adjective, and okay. Verb is time bound, yes, but what is the definition? Fi'l is an action word with a doer. MashaAllah, very good. Action word with a doer, yes. Fi'l is action. What about harf? What about harf? Harf. Give me what a harf is, and then we'll close the day. Tomorrow when we come, we do this before we go into our new lesson. What is a harf? A volunteer. Where is Abdul Rafi? Where is Kamal? Where is Kulsum? What is a harf? A fi'l is a word that has a tense. Yes. After of is what? What is after of preposition? Oh, mashallah. Very good. Meaningless words. Yes. A particle that can stand, can't stand alone or can't stand on itself. Very good. Very good, Asma Nana. Thank you very much. A harf has no sign of an ism or a fi'l. Well, I like that one. I like that one too. Okay. So tomorrow, inshallah, we will quickly run some exercises on how to identify the SNGT on a table like the Muslim church. But please, don't forget what we have learned today. We have learned a lot of things that will really form the basis of where we are going. Ism is done with today, and we have learned on how to identify the ani una and an aini ina and in aini ina. Okay, please don't forget that. It's very important. Go and practice it and get to know it yourself. Okay, the way you can. I'm just trying to show you certain tricks, but it might not work with you, but try and do it well to understand how to identify the ending sounds and combination. Else, we are going to have a big challenge. After that, you learn also the 4 properties, SNGT, particularly the S, the status. You have to learn the status forms. You have to learn the ending sound combination. You have to learn it's heavy or light, if it's heavy or light, as well as its flexibility. And when you come to the number, you look for mufrad, musanna, jam'u, singular, pair, plural. And then when we come to the gender, you look for muzakkar, muannas, or masculine and feminine. And when we come to the type, you look for the nakira and ma'rifa, or common and proper. With that, we would have finished the all that has to do with an ism. So we move from that to fragments, how 2 isms can come together and form a concept, inshallah. With that, we say subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim, wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Abdul Basit says, please, for those that are having madrasa tomorrow, 10 to 11, how are we going to do 10 to 11? 10 to 11, what is 10 to 11? 10 to 11 here, are you in Nigeria? 10 to 11 is 9 to 10 in Ghana. So you go to your madrasa 10, okay, sorry. 10 to 11 in 10 to 11 in Nigeria is 9 to 10. Yeah, so you go to madrasa 10 to 11 and you start your Edmudo 11 to, I'm miscalculating his, if you are in Nigeria, 10 to 11 is actually not the time we are starting here. We are starting 11 to 1, right? Yes. So if you're having your gadget with you, you start the class from the gadgets while you come and get seated. But anyway, the time will not always be appropriate for all, but the best we can, we join. And if you are not able to join it, normally we do the recordings and we send it onto the web, the YouTube page. Sorry, I think yesterday I forgot to. Inshallah, I will let the TAs paste the YouTube the YouTube channel link onto the Edmodo or the WhatsApp page, so that you can always go back and check and watch the video or the recording again. Thank you so very much. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر ان الانسان لفي خسر الا الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.